Hi, welcome back to Beyond the Google Search. This is Brigetta Hannah, part 2. We're now moving on to the library's webpage, and I want to share with you the Gale Virtual Reference Library. When you're on the library's webpage, choose the link entitled Online Resources. From there, we're going to choose the eBooks and Databases link because that's where the Gale Virtual Reference Library resides. Now, since I am recording from out of school, which is great because I'm sharing with you a pretty neat little feature here, when students are in school, the Gale Virtual Reference Library and any of our online resources open automatically. However, when the students are at home and they are not on the school district's network, then they have to enter a password. And for the Gale Virtual Reference Library, the password here is BHS Library. BHS Library. Once that is accurately added, we are now able to see all of our Gale databases ebooks, including right here, the Gale Virtual Reference Library. Gale just happens to be a trade name of a company that creates all of this material for us. Virtual Reference Library, I think, speaks for itself. It is a reference library that is housed virtually on the internet, and that's what I want to share with you today. When you click the link to the Gale Virtual Reference Library, you get a listing of all of the various ebooks that we own. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, we don't own that many. Even though our virtual reference library is not very big, I still think it's pretty powerful. We have books in the arts, environment, history, literature, and fields of science. So with that, let me just share with you one of the books that we use fairly often. If you are a history teacher, you're in the library more often than you probably want to be. And many times, the topics that the students are researching when it comes to American history, they can be found in our ebook called The Dictionary of American History. And in order to open that book digitally, you just click the cover. All of our ebooks function the same way. So once I show you how to use the Dictionary of American History, you can apply these same skills for each and every one of our reference library ebooks. All of them come with a search engine. So down here below the book's cover is a search engine, and let's suppose the students are studying about the Declaration of Independence. We type in our topic, and we get a listing of all of the articles in that ebook about the Declaration of Independence. Looking at the titles, we can make a selection according to our topic for our research project, but let's just shoot with the first one. We can open up the article by clicking the link. And what's interesting about the Gale Virtual Reference Library ebooks is that you don't have to read them. Let's say you're not really a great reader, or maybe you're an ELL student. There is a feature embedded where the students can listen to the article. It takes a second to load, but then someone will read the article to the student.
Declaration of Independence. Declaration of Independence. This document, which the Second Continental Congress adopted on 4 July 1776, proclaimed the original 13 American colonies independent of Great Britain and...
Okay, so you can see here that the text is also highlighted as the narrator reads. I have found this feature to be incredibly useful in the libraries, particularly with the ELL students, but with any student who has some challenges with difficult text, it's a nice thing to have. We have given students earphones to put on so that they can listen without others interrupting or realizing that they're really listening. So this is a great feature. But anyway, here's the article about the Declaration of Independence. Students can scroll through here, read every blessed word if they want to, or they can skim as needed. One of the nice features in every one of our digital resources is that there is a built-in citation. Again, the student can copy and paste that into his or her Word document that would be a works cited. At the top are additional features, such as the ability to print. Sorry about that dog issue. But anyway, these features across the top are other tools that help the student. The print button obviously allows the student to print the article. Typically, we do not encourage students to do that because we have a digital format here, and we might as well maintain a digital format and not cut down so many trees. A student can email this article home to himself or download it to his or her H drive, and of course the ability to create a citation. So those are the basics of an ebook in the Gale Virtual Reference Library, but let me take you back. Let's look at the books that exist in the Gale Virtual Reference Library in addition to this one about the Dictionary of American History. We have books pertaining to art. This particular book that we are using in art has to do with arts and the humanities. I think we primarily at the high school use it for the humanities component. I have a couple environment and science books as well about energy and of course the Weather Almanac. In addition, we have some literature books that our students use as a part of understanding and researching literature for their research project. And then finally, the science books again, Alternative Energy, Weather Almanac. So I usually send a student to the Gale Virtual Reference Library if I know that his or her topic would be presented through one of these 5 different types of books in the ebook collection. If not, I usually then send students back to the library's webpage, and instead of looking at the Gale Virtual Reference Library, I ask the students to look at our EBSCOhost Databases. The link for the EBSCOhost Databases would be directly below the eBooks link, right here, EBSCOhost Databases. And again, since we're out of network, not in the school building, it requires a user ID and password. We've created the same word for the user ID and password, and that is Baldwin High again for a login. I'm going to share with you the EBSCOhost Web and the Student Research Center. For the web, the student will find a variety of databases, we have several, that might be useful. I would encourage you to take the time to go through this list of all of these databases. You'll see that there's one for the elementary school, primary search, one for the middle school, the middle search. We have Master File and Master File Premier. Both of these function as a multidisciplinary, grandiose encyclopedia, if you will. We have Web News, as well as News Wires, as well as the newspaper source. Those 3 databases specifically will explore recently printed news articles found either in print or on the internet. Additionally, the Business Source Main Edition helps us to understand what's going on with a large variety of corporations housed here in the U.S. We have some ebooks as well on EBSCOhost. Again, a primary search for the elementary school, middle search for the middle school, an encyclopedia, newspapers, magazines, back to the master file. The Teacher Reference Center is nice, but it only provides abstracts. Green file, again, you certainly know what that means in living in a green world. And then this is for me, the Library Information, Science and Technology abstracts. But anyway, to activate the databases that you want to search, just click next to the name of it. Many times these are the 3 primary ones that my students use, Master File Premier, which is, like I said, the multidisciplinary, grandiose encyclopedia set. Magazine articles, newspaper articles. Sometimes I have them, again, use some of our news wires, newspaper source, and web news, if their topic is current events in nature. Then we hit continue. This particular search engine will now search all of the databases that I just activated. So let's say the students need to know about what's going on in Uganda right now. Type in Uganda, hit search. And what we'll find is a listing of all kinds of articles that have been previously printed somewhere else. whether it's a newspaper, a magazine article, an academic journal, an encyclopedia, and the students should be paying attention to these links that say full text. It'll be either PDF or HTML full text. Once they read the title and the brief description, if they think it's going to work, you click the link for full text. Now notice that some of these don't have a full text link. That means that they're simply an abstract. But when they do have a full text, that's how I prefer to view it. It allows us to see all graphic images as well as the text. PDF. HTML is just the printed word. So we'll allow this to load. Scrolling down, using that on the left. But I also want to point out our EBSCOhost has tools as well that the student can use. This time the tools are along the left, or I'm sorry, the right, as opposed to the top. Print, email, save it to your H drive. Here's that citation part. We use MLA, so they'll have to scroll down. And they can copy and paste that citation into their works cited document. If students want to sort or to save their articles, they have the ability to do that as well. They can use the folders in the sign-in up here. If they create an account just with a simple email account, they can create folders for different courses of study, different types of articles that they're finding, maybe some certain things for their social studies classes versus what they might be finding for, let's say, an English class, a health class, something of that nature. Once we're back here on the results page, you can see how these articles are broken down from the various databases. For example, there were close to 1,300 articles that came from the web. There are 4,339 that came from Master File Premier, and then 2,000 that came from the magazine articles. So there's plenty of information here for these students on the topic. Now Uganda is pretty broad. We can change that and come in with a more specific topic in that search engine if we want. Plus there is the benefit of an advanced search as well. I'm going to stop here with the information regarding EBSCOhost Web and move on to the Student Research Center in our next segment.